So the next combiner, and this is the more combiner size that we're used to, is going to be Abominus of the Terrorcons. Now, this is also another beast combiner. It's all of them are going to be unique molds, although the centerpiece, which makes Hun-Gurrr, if you will, Hun-Gurrr is supposedly a heavy retool using the same engineering that used Silverbolt. So if when you're going to be messing with Hun-Gurrr, and if you look at also his combined centerpiece, you're going to see some similarities, if you will.
Mm.
But otherwise, he looks really, really good. And again, just like Predaking, if you've ever messed with that original toy back in the day, and then you look at what you got here, these are updated versions of those characters. And from what I could see, the ones that are on display here, I feel like these are hand painted prototypes.
Yeah, that's what they look like.
It's a little more glossier and a little more rough around the edges, the paint on these ones. So these ones I wouldn't take too much because I could see like Sinnertwin, one of them. It really looks like there's like paint from his orange rubbed off onto his legs. So these clearly look like these are hand painted prototypes with stickers slapped on them. I know that when I was at HasCon, that was the case with the Rodimus on display. It was a hand painted prototype. So it's not the first time it's happened. So again, don't take the colors that you see right now 100%. Things could change and it might look nicer as the final product rolls around. But as it stands, we see the individual robot modes, we see the individual beast modes or the monster modes, and we have the combined robot mode, and it all looks really good. As expected, as an updated G1, style, these were characters that were based on nothing that was written in stone. These were based off of monsters and stuff like that, Rippersnapper, and all of them were just kind of and Blot, all these kind of like it's a upright creature or a bipedal creature or sometimes a quadruped, dragon looking creature. There
Yeah.
was no rule with these, but they stay true at least to those original obscure monsters. They didn't try to make different interpretations of it, if you
Right.
will. They didn't look at Blot and go, well, he looked like this weird purple kind of upright, creature. We'll make him more that's similar to a golem now or something. No, they pretty much stuck true to that I don't know what he is kind of alt mode and just gave it articulation and modernized it. So I mean, there's not much I could complain much when it comes to what they did here. And these characters, they didn't get a heck of a lot of screen time in the original G1 mythos, and same thing in the written fiction, and in the IDW verse even less so. They kind of were just used in very small scant areas here and there as individual characters. So it's something that this is something we're pretty much riding on just what we remember and enjoy from the toys, and I like it. I like it. It's another very unique character. What really interests me more than anything is now we got four brand new molded limbs made for this. Where are they going to go with these limbs? That's one thing that's really intriguing me because you look at someone like Blot and you go, what could they possibly retool from this to make other characters? My only assumption, the only thing I could come up with right now, and I could totally be wrong ultimately in the end, is maybe something like Dino King or Monstructor
Mm,
uh, down the
right.
line. Obviously, they wouldn't have the Pretender shells like they had originally, but I could see them if they do heavy retooling of these guys, they might be able to get something out of it. But that's all I could really think of from it. But otherwise, I mean, these guys look great, but I'm really curious what the future will bring of these because they took the time to give these guys fresh designs. So that means they clearly, obviously, have ideas for the. Hasbro never wastes a mold.
Yeah.
You
Why
know,
would you?
they, they
That's a bad.
I
That's bad
I
business.
feel every time that they design a toy now, there's always another body in mind. So I'm really curious what those other bodies are. Wendell, what do you think about these? Because I know you really dug these.
I'm digging it. I'm really enjoying how individual each limb looks and how they feel, and like you really get that sense that they are abominations and I don't know, I'm just really really digging it. Because again, like with the older Combiner Wars stuff, you're like, okay, well, this is a retool of this character. This goes back to this character and
Yeah,
this character. Like, there's a lot of
history.
history that they all share, basically. And I like the fact that this one, they are all very much individual stuff, and they look really good. And the colors too, they all pop. They're very vibrant. I get a bit of that like late '80s, early '90s vibe from most of these guys, especially the middle piece where he has his like cool shades, basically the yellow shades, and they kind of give off a little bit of a Gurren Lagann
Huh,
vibe
a little
on it,
bit.
because a little bit like there. So I don't know. I'm really enjoying it. I like that they're all individual pieces, and when they're all together, it creates this really different looking silhouette to the whole character.
No, I
So
think
that's what
I,
I'm
I
digging
think
about
it's
it.
great. I think it's great. It's nice to see something that like we've gone quite a few years uh, strictly with vehicles as it pertains to the classics line, with once in a while getting thrown a beast here and there. But going into Power of the Prime, starting with Dinobots, and then going now with Predaking, and now again with Abominus, we're gonna have a lot of beasts, and even with Optimus Primal being the fan vote figure, it really shows where there's probably a certain direction all of this is going in the future. So it's going to be very interesting where things are going to take us for sure.